a month or so ago, I used to do my deadlifts on leg day, thinking, it's a hamstring glute type of exercise, so it belongs there. So I would often start with deadlifts and then, go over to hack squats or whatever I'm doing for the leg accessory. That didn't go too well, man. I was finding I wasn't really surviving those sessions at all because usually it's the previous day or the day before that I did upper back, rowing. And those things would clearly spill over and absolutely annihilate my deadlifting completely. Just no upper body strength left in me to do these pulls. So then I thought, what, let's try putting deadlifts on back day, as in upper back day. Sure, I'll have sore legs and fatigued legs, but it doesn't matter. Let's see how that goes. And that went really, really well. Like, I was surprised how little legs have got to do with deadlifts. Try and work that out. That is weird as. So I would often come in on these back days, just off a lot of squatting or a lot of squat accessory work, and deadlifts felt good. So I'd sit there like scratching my head. What the hell is that? So my quads are fatigued, my hamstrings are fatigued, my glutes are fatigued, yet the deadlift is moving well. So what the hell is a deadlift? What's moving that weight? Obviously, everything's involved, but in my mind, I'm like, well, maybe the limiting step has always been the spine. Not what extends the spine. What not extends the hips. It's what extends the spine. That's the trouble, right? So the spine has a gazillion freaking bones in it. And all that stuff gets fatigued when you're doing rowing and all that kind of like stuff, right? So I thought, yeah, okay, that's important, but really the movement is being driven by the glutes and hamstrings, bit of quads. That's what's making the thing move. But no, apparently the deadlifts are all about these other muscles, which are in the upper back and the shoulder girdle. You fatigue those, you've lost all stability, and it all goes to crap. And so today is my back day, and so obviously, every day is a leg day for me, but I have one dedicated day where I really send it. All the other days is just simply practicing my free throws. That's how I think about it. So today I was like, okay, do some squats, do the deadlifts, and then do my rows. And that kind of has been a really good combination. So much so that 4 days ago I hit 270 on the deadlift. So I thought, well, that is a big, big freaking pull. Let's see how I'm going to go today. And I went all right. I was able to pull 260. I still feel fatigue through my system, but 260 went all right. And also in Jordans. Why do I say Jordans? Well, these shoes are kind of comfortable and something that you don't want to wear while doing deadlifts. So what the hell, why did I wear these? This session, it was simply straight after work. So I went to work this morning at 6 a.m., 6:30. And I've not been back home since. I just, straight after work, 3:34, come to the gym, train, and then go home. And so these are my work shoes. I actually work in Jordans. Pretty cool gig, right? Scrubs and Jordans is what I wear at work. They're comfortable, but, they separate you a little bit more off the ground. So kind of they have a bit of height to them. Clearly not as bad as the Olympic weightlifting shoes, but there's a bit of height in it and there's a bit of sponginess to them. So could I have done a bit more? Maybe, but that would be silly coming 4 days off a PR. But all in all, I'm feeling in good spirits because something is driving these deadlifts to feel really, really good. And I'm of the opinion, like I made the video previously about what's driving all of this. It's the rows, it's everything really. But the rows, man, the rows are making a difference because like I opened up this video by saying that when I go into a deadlift workout with a sore upper back or a fatigued upper back, I can't deadlift. In contrast, if I go into a deadlift workout when I have sore glutes, hamstrings, and quads, I can deadlift relatively better than comparing to when I have an upper back fatigue or DOMS. So that kind of in reverse, if you think about it and a reverse engineer it, it's the upper back that's driving all of this. Now, you don't want to make these heavy statements, throw them around like that's the only thing that's going on. It's clearly not. Maybe in my system, I'm lacking a bit of upper body strength, and that's kind of what my body is kind of feeding back to me. But it's clear that all of these rows that I'm doing are doing a lot of positivity. And, like, again, I'm doing 100 kilos on the underarm or the supinated grip, and then 80 kilos with the pronated grip. I'll go 100, then 80 kilos, and that's it. 5 sets of 10, 5 sets of 10 on both of those variations. So I get 10 sets of 10 basically with rows. That's a lot of rows. I appreciate that. But that is all I do. All I do for my upper back. Something clicked when I watched that Ronnie Coleman interview with Shannon. Something clicked, man. Like, he started talking about how all he ever did was barbells, free weights. He rarely did cables and all that stuff. He was always freaking bar in your hands. And I thought, of course, there's 1,000,001 opinions out there, but for some reason that resonated with me. Everyone kind of wants to do back and chest and all that stuff in a comfortable way. Just do the shit that works. And I don't know how many times I've heard in my life barbell rows work. And, I've heard this and I kind of believe them. But I always thought, nah, dude, that takes too many points away from squats and deadlifts. Screw the squats and deadlifts. Squats and deadlifts are great, but using squats and deadlifts to drive squats and deadlifts is a freaking hard job to do. Doing rows to drive deadlifts is a lot easier to do. And so, okay, sure, the rows will take a lot of recovery points. So be it. That's what I want. That's where I want to put it in. And so these deadlifts and squats that I'm doing now, I feel like I'm just practicing them. I'm not really building anything with them. And maybe that's what needs to happen for me. I don't have the greatest leverages for either of them. I have short arms. That's not good for deadlifts. And I have long legs. That's not good for squats. So, okay, whatever. So be it. Do rows. That shit is good whatever you are. And so build that. Try and get that to like some decent amount of weight. And then let's see how that goes. And so that's kind of my opinion. Rows have become a very, very big staple of my training, my mindset. For leg training, I'm doing, like I said to you guys, I'm rotating all sorts of freaking machinery. 4-week blocks, man. I did hack squats. I did belt squats. Now I'm going to do leg presses. Why leg presses? Because it's a freaking push. I will push anything at this point. I'll just move it all around. And that's kind of my opinion. I'm not really married to anything. Spend all of the points on squat accessories and barbell rows. And then on bench press, I'm doing obviously what I'm doing with the wide. And I'm in a freaking good little spot right now, man. Everything's feeling really, really well. I don't know how many videos I've made in this journey, squat everyday journey, where I've talked about rows. But literally, man, like rows are very special. It's a very underappreciated, very difficult exercise, which a lot of people have had, some mishaps with. Some people have done their backs in with this, and people usually say, oh, dude, when you get fatigued, right at the bottom is where your back is going to let go. Well, don't let it go. Hold that back position. Hold it like you're freaking planking. Hold it. Don't use the back, as a limiting factor. No. The limiting factor is the arms, right? Or the pulling. Hold that freaking back, And so, of course, I can roll a bit more weight. Of course, I can weld myself to the bar with some straps and yank away. But that's not the point. The point is I need some control. I want to stretch at the bottom and then pull, And even though, like, it's not, impressive weights that I'm using with the rows, I still feel like that there's a lot of value in this. And I feel like the way I'm doing it is clearly doing something for me. And I hope in the future that I'll be a mean barbell rowing machine. You know what I mean? I finally have come around to appreciating the effects, the power of rows. And of course, it's not a nice exercise. It doesn't feel good. You're holding your breath. You're straining while you're holding that weird position and you're rowing. It's not a nice position to be in. And because it's not a nice position to be in, I reckon that's why it works, man. I really, really reckon that's why it works. So, don't listen to me, man, whatever. There's 1,000,001 person out there talking about rows, but I really feel like, as I said to the guy, one of the fellas at the gym today, eventually, you spend enough time in this game and you run around the block a few times and you try all these different things. Eventually, the truth is going to start knocking you on the head. You're not running around the truth anymore. Literally, the truth is going to start falling in your head. And I feel like one of the truths is these barbell rows. It's old as dirt. It's one of the most foundational, earliest type of exercise you could ever think of. But it's one of the best ones, man. I truly believe that. It's one of the best freaking exercises you could do. And I think it has its tentacles in every freaking game. I'm talking like the squats, the upper back stuff. I've had, direct anecdote how good it feels for squats. For bench press, I believe it has a huge impact on the upper traps, lats, which is all what you need to lock down your bench and to push off of. And obviously the deadlifts, man. Like, it's just, name me a lift that has impact on all three powerlifting movements. Name me a lift that carries over to everything. I don't know, man. I don't know if you'll be able to find a better one. And that's how highly I'm thinking of it right now. It's that effective. It literally trains everything. And this is why, like, I've always been fascinated with some of these guys who are doing a lot of pulling in their life, right? Like some of these dudes that are climbing, rock climbers or whatever. I can't remember the guy's name, but like he went on a show somewhere, on somebody's podcast, on somebody's YouTube channel, and he was able to deadlift twice his body weight day one. Of course, he's a light fella, whatever. He climbs, he's a rock climber, for God's sake. Yet first day, deadlift twice your body weight. That is freaking impressive. I don't care how much you weigh. It's just really impressive. And so when you're talking about what's driving deadlifts, legs or upper back, well, here is a guy. Here is a guy that all he does is freaking back, and he deadlifted 2 times his body weight day one. That speaks volumes. Obviously, there's more to it, but that to me is something that I've never really stopped thinking about when I think about rows and upper back. Upper back, man. Upper back. If you're going to overdose on one thing, overdose on rowing, and I reckon you'll be in good stead, man. I really feel like this is the old bodybuilder, old powerlifter wisdom, which I'm finally starting to believe. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.